What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are doing a Skylanders Superchargers roster tier list. Very excited to do this, and just before I start, I want to say I'm not the type of person to do a tier list that is like 40 minutes long where I talk about each character for like a super long time. No, I'm not really like that. I'll just pretty much say what tier they go in, a couple of reasons why they go in that specific tier, and then we'll move on. So without further ado, let's jump right into this, starting with Hurricane Jetpack. Now, Hurricane Jetpack, I think, is a big improvement on the original Jetpack. Original Jetpack wasn't bad, he just wasn't very good either. But Hurricane Jetpack is actually pretty good. Like, I like this guy. I like using him. I think he's a solid A tier. I can't really put him in S tier. I don't think he's that good, but he isn't bad at all. He's very fun to play as, especially compared to the original. Now, next up, Stormblade I do not have. I don't have Stormblade, so I'm going to put her to the back. There aren't many Superchargers that I don't have, but there are a few. But now we got Nightfall. Nightfall, I actually don't like her. Her moveset just isn't very fun. It's not for me, and it doesn't seem very strong either. I feel like she's a pretty weak Skylander, and it's okay to be weak as long as you're fun to use, but I don't think she's that fun to use. I don't have fun playing as her. So that's why she's going to be in C tier for me. She isn't quite D tier, but she's not good either. Smash Hit I do not have. He's one of the few that I don't have. Now, Sharkshooter Terrafin I think is B. I think original Terrafin's probably like B for me too. This guy isn't bad. He has some cool moves. I do like using him, but he's not quite as good as Hurricane Jetpack. He's not quite an A tier Skylander, but he isn't bad. He's definitely, I think he's pretty good. I would say pretty average probably for Superchargers. I do like using him. He's just not someone that I'm gonna be super excited to grab and start playing as. He's not bad though. He's got some decent attacks, and he works pretty well as a ranged Skylander. Now, next up, we got Lava Lance Eruptor. Lava Lance Eruptor, I actually really like this guy. I think he's a solid A tier. They improved him so much, giving him a weapon that sort of shapeshifts with lava. It'll turn into like a massive mace. Sometimes it's a lance, sometimes it's a sword. It's very cool. I actually really like it. His whole moveset just works well together, and him being able to having mobility, close range, and range attacks, and one really cool move where he like flies up under this volcano and like lava shoots everywhere. That move is pretty awesome. I do really like it. I think this guy's a solid A tier. Next up, we got Spitfire. Spitfire is one of the absolute best, and I'm going to put him in S tier. He might be top 5 Scounders for me, or like top 5 all time. Maybe not, maybe like more top 10 Scounders all time, but he is awesome. I absolutely love him. His moveset works perfectly together. A primary attack that pretty much does exactly what a primary attack should do. Does good damage, has good range, pretty much good all around. Then he has a great mobility attack that he can charge up or just use once. It's a dash attack. It works amazingly. And his Fire Tornado is a super awesome third attack that's actually got practical use cases because it's easy to use and it just goes and does its own thing while you beat up other enemies. Awesome Skylander. Absolutely love him. Now, Super Shot Stealth Elf is going to have to be C tier for me. I do not really like her. I don't think she's very good at all. She's not very fun to use either. Like, I don't think she works as a ranged Skylander. Like, original Stealth Elf was pretty cool, being able to like go invisible and have like a decoy of yourself. That was pretty cool. It doesn't really work with Super Shot Stealth Elf. I'm not the biggest fan of her. Her design is decent, but overall, I don't know. I don't have that much fun playing as her. Don't think she's a very good starter pack Skylander at all, which is why she's in C tier. Thrillipede, I do not have Thrillipede. He's very rare. So yeah, I'll not be ranking him because I don't have him. Alright, next up, we got Astro Blast. Astro Blast is so difficult for me. I think I'm going to put him in C tier too. He's not that bad. Okay, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put Super Shot Stealth Elf in D, and I'll put Astro Blast in C. That looks better. I'm not like the biggest Astro Blast hater, but I don't like him that much. His primary attack just isn't that good, and it's very weak, and it's very like not fun to use. And his other moves don't offer that much variety. And so, like, he's just not fun to play as. Like, he doesn't have anything super powerful in his moveset. No saving grace. He's just kind of weak overall. And because of that, I really have to put him pretty low on the list. Like, I don't like this guy that much. Now, next up, we got Big Ball of Puffizz. I think this guy's a solid B tier. I think it's kind of like Terrafin. However, I think Puff is an A tier Skylander. I think this one's just a little bit worse just because it's not as original. It's not as cool. But this guy's he's pretty fun to use. I like that he still has his beast mode, and he works decently well using musical instruments. It is pretty cool. But I don't know. Overall, he can't be that much higher just because I think the other Superchargers are better than him. But he's not bad. He's not like a bad Skylander. Like he's fine to use. He's not super weak. He's not super boring. He is pretty fun. So I'm gonna have to put him in B tier. Now next up we got Splat. Now Splat, I love Splat's design and concept, and her moveset's pretty decent too, which lands her in A tier. I think she is an A tier Skylander. She has moves that work well together, and they look beautiful just to use. Like her attacks are pretty awesome. Her primary attack is pretty similar to Spitfire, just a solid overall. Does good damage, has good speed to it. I like it. And then she has a move where she has like multiple moves, I think, where she like sends out like ink. It's pretty cool. I do like her, but I am a huge Splatoon fan myself, so I might be a little biased, and that's might be part of the reason why I like her so much, just because I like that game. But I think she's really fun. I do really like her, so she's a solid A tier for me. Now next up, we got High Volt. High Volt, I think, is another A tier. This guy is actually really good. I really like how his shield works. It like makes him completely invincible. They can like burst it and enemies shoot everywhere. Really cool attack. Primary attack, I like that too. It's kind of like Spitfire and Splat, just a solid combo that works well. And then his third attack, I think he throws a spear and can sort of like hover around it, and there's this chain of lightning that goes from him to his weapon. It's very cool. Do really like that attack. He just got a great moveset. Don't have any issues with him, so I think he's a solid A tier for me. And we have Double Dare Trigger Happy, which this guy for me is a B tier. He's nothing too special. He's kind of like Pop Fizz, where he's just isn't as good as the original, but he's not that bad. Like he's not bad, so I think B tier is a solid spot for him. He has an interesting moveset. His primary attack is so similar to the original one that it's like I can't even notice the difference. It even like has the same sound and everything, but it's a good attack. It works well. It does good damage. And then his other attacks where he shoots out of a cannon and where he just sort of like brings some fire from the ground. Not totally sure what that is, but it's pretty cool. There isn't really anything wrong with it, so I can't really put him much lower than that. I think this guy's pretty decent overall, B tier Skylander. Next up we got Fiesta. Fiesta is just not for me. I think personally he's a C tier. His primary attack, nothing especially wrong with it. It's just kind of boring to use. It's like you're shooting this weapon that never stops shooting. You can just pretty much hold it and shoot forever. It's not like especially powerful, but it's not especially weak either. His other attacks where he summons his bandmates is kind of cool. Like that whole sort of system of how that works is pretty decent. But his third attack where he turns into like a head is just not good. I don't think there's any point to it. Like I don't like it at all. I really think that attack is pretty trash. So that's really why he's in C tier. Next up we got Bone Bash Rollerball. This is like a top. This is definitely a top 5 Skylander of all time for me. I absolutely love Bone Bash Rollerball. Everything about her works perfectly. From her primary attack, when she has her blades, it's a longer range but slower, but more damage dealing attack. When she doesn't have her blades, it's more close range, fast, but lower damage. It works so well together. She can throw her blades out. They work like boomerangs. That's awesome. And then she has 2 different movesets when she doesn't have them. She has her dashing attacks, which can cover a wide area, and she can dash forward and destroy a bunch of enemies. She also has a headbutt attack. I don't know. She has so many moves that just work so well together, and she's so well-rounded overall that she kind of has to be S tier for me. I absolutely love her, and she has an amazing design. So next up, we have Diveclops. Diveclops, I think, is a solid B tier. There isn't anything that I particularly love about him, but his moves aren't bad. They're definitely got some uniqueness to him. He's just kind of a basic bazooker, which he shoots like these water missiles, which are pretty decent. Then he has this move where he like shoots this like green energy vortex around him, and a lot of his attacks are based around that. I think it's pretty fun. There isn't like anything especially awesome about it, but he's not bad. He's not a bad Skylander, but he isn't quite like spectacular. I do like his design though, and I like his attacks, his primary attack. I think it works well and gets him a solid B tier. And next up is Deep Dive Gilgrunt. This guy for me is absolutely A. Incorporating a trident and lightning into Gilgrunt's moveset is awesome. This guy is so fun to use, so much better than the original Gilgrunt in my opinion. And original Gilgrunt was already good. I like original Gilgrunt a lot. This guy is just so much better though. He like strikes the ground with lightning, and he can shoot waves all around him, and he's got just a basic combo that works really well. Really like this guy overall. Really no complaints. He's a pretty freaking well-rounded Skylander that works very well in my opinion. Now, next up we got Bowser. I do not have Bowser, but I do have Donkey Kong. And Donkey Kong, for me, is an A tier Skylander. Donkey Kong is awesome. His moveset is very fun to use. He can throw his barrels around, he can smash them into enemies, he can go into this like beast mode where he like breaks out these barrels, and then he can jump on the ground, and stuff like ladders and crowbars will like fall from the sky. It's awesome. And then he's just super powerful. He has a lot of different, like, he has a lot of variety with his moveset, and he basically has two movesets because he has like a second mode that he can go into, kind of like Bowser or like Pop Fizz. Very cool. I do really like this Skylander, and that lands him a solid A tier. Isn't quite S tier. Like, I think there are definitely things that could be improved upon to make him a little bit better. But he's A tier, and it's just cool. Donkey Kong and Skylanders, like, never would have expected it. It's pretty awesome. But that is gonna do it for this tier list. I think I enjoyed making it. I definitely agree with how it looks. I think Super Shot Stealth Elf is the worst that it gets, and then Spitfire and Roller Brawl are definitely top notch for Superchargers. So that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what tier list you want to see next, and then let me know who your favorite Supercharger is, because I'm very interested to hear. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.